Welcome back to Inside the Green Room with Danny Green.
Yes, sir.
That's Danny. I'm Harrison.
Yes, sir. It's been
Harrison.
a couple. Harrison Sanford. There you go. It's been a couple weeks, man. Have you gotten a cut recently? It's been about like 3 or 4 weeks from me, bro. Looking crazy over here.
Oh,
Quarantine. I've never
Go ahead.
been, looking forward to a haircut since I played overseas, where they didn't have barbers over there. I'm the most excited thing. I think I'm gonna get one soon. To hopefully I can get somebody come to the house with a hazmat suit, and mask and gloves.
Overseas, Danny did look crazy.
Bruh, if you go back to them clips, we had to do a session one day where we go back to the overseas, Danny, with some of the clips and some of the stuff that I did over there. It was kind of wild, bro.
Well, we'll throw in some pictures there.
It was a hell of an experience. The haircut was, one of the very few things, but it was a great. And mind you, I had a little game back then too. I played a different role when I was playing overseas.
Yeah, I see some clips.
Yeah, I was a little ball handling. People don't think I can handle the ball and shit like that, so I can dribble the ball. You know what I'm saying?
I'm missing my barber right now. I didn't realize how bad my hairline is getting.
Bruh.
Crazy, dog.
But yeah, man, things that we think about during the quarantine.
Another thing that we did think about. Okay, did you watch the T-Pain and Lil Jon?
I didn't. I heard about it. I watched it. I've been tuning into. Was it DJ Nice? Or DJ?
DJ Nice, yeah.
Yeah, he's been having a big blow up of people tuning in on his sets. He's been killing it. Night Train has some good sets too, so I check out his stuff. But I've seen some of the battles highlights. You go scroll through Instagram, see the highlights, see some of the lives of people that are bored and having a lot of fun, like Tory Lanez, hella funny. But I caught some of the highlights of not that one. I didn't catch the Lil Jon. I caught the one. Who was it? Dream.
I forgot. It was Dream and somebody else. But there's been some good battles. Another battle.
Sean Garrett, Dream. Yeah, I think that's what it was. And there was another one that was pretty good.
The battle
producers. Timbaland, Swiss.
Yep.
Who else do we have out there? That was was it Scott Storch and somebody else?
The battle that everybody wants to see?
What's that?
Chris Brown versus Usher. That'd be a tough one.
That'd be a good one, man. But it's great to see people tuning in and communicating with each other and being entertained and have still ways to entertain each other. And then, just listen to music and change your day. Or just, listen to people who play their hits can, entertain you throughout your day, which is a lot of fun to see. I also got a chance to see a couple of lives that, I didn't get a chance to see the lives, but I heard about some lives that I've been tagged in. People tagging me in, Freddie V and Pascal's live. I'm like, what the hell are they talking about, man? And it be your own people, man. It be your own people. It be at you.
So, all right, since we're here now.
Yeah.
What exactly happened? Was that game 4 Eastern Conference semifinals?
I don't recall what game it might have been game 4. I think it was game 4.
Okay.
It was a game 3. I think we got blown out. I think we got blown out in game 3. This one was actually a closer game.
It's the game when people thought Pascal might not play. Remember, because he had that injury, there was a thought.
Yeah, you remember this stuff like it's just. I don't remember that vaguely. I do remember the play.
Okay.
Actually, somebody hit me like, "Is this your birthday?" And I'm like, "No, it's not my birthday." I'm like, "Why would you say that?" It was like, "Oh, Phil Handy tweeted up, or he put something on a story," and I'm like, "This guy, no, he put the video up on my birthday last year. That's his way of wishing me happy birthday." So to be your own people. Big shout out to Phil Handy, by the way. He has his app out now, 94 feet of basketball. I've been doing a lot of his dribbling drills in the crib. So, but yeah, him, it's to be your own people. 94 feet a game, that's what the app is called. So he put out a video of me in the huddle spazzing out on the team and then shooting an air ball in the post versus JJ in the post. And I guess Freddie and them, I don't know how it came up or like what brought, like, how did it come about? Like what brought this topic up? But I guess Freddie and Pascal were talking about it on live. And I only saw part of the story. I didn't see the whole thing, but it's a funny story. But my version of it obviously is different than Freddie's and Pascal's.
Okay. I'm here. We got time.
I said all I heard and saw was Freddie say that because at the time said the rotation got cut short in Philly series. Fred and Norm, Nick's coach Nurse stopped playing them as much. And, that year, I would post up something. It wasn't like, a play for me to post up, but like early offense in the playoffs, especially, it was like early offense. If you're ahead of the crew, you can seal in, not really a post up, but you can seal in, duck in, and get an easy layup, duck in and get easy layup. And I'm like, cool, I'm cool with that. But as in half court set, don't go in there. I'm like, all right. But a lot of times early offense too, even some of our best offense now is for me to set a pick and roll or a step up screen for them to switch. Because usually most teams put the smaller guard or their weakest defender, I'm not saying that the defender is weak, but their weakest defender on the court on me. Playoffs is all about mismatches. Best basketball is to create the mismatch or make them put their weakest defender on your best offensive guy. So I'm going to set the screen, make him guard Kawhi. Now we do it now with Bron. Me, AB, some of our best offense, me, AB, setting step up or setting a screen for Bron where they have to switch and guard Bron or AD. Kawhi, I guess, didn't really like it that much. Like, get out. Caleb, like, get out of there or whatever. So pretty much most of the game, I was a non-factor on offense. And I wasn't involved in any of what's going on. I'm like, I get to the huddle. And I wasn't really calling for the ball in the post. Fred said I wasn't asking for the ball in the post. I wasn't really asking for the ball. I was just like, it's silly that we're not attacking this, and making these guys guard. Sometimes they'll put Steph on me. Like, even though I'm saying Steph's a bad defender, but in order to tire him out, it's smart basketball to make their star player play defense. Most star players just want to play one side of the ball. Make them play defense. But I get out of here. So I go to the huddle. I'm bugging out. Because it said first that they never see me mad. I'm like, this is stupid basketball. Why are we not attacking this player? Why are we not attacking this person? Why are we not setting screens or getting involved? And obviously I didn't say it in that demeanor. I was a little more animated, a little more adrenaline pumping, but frustrated because I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? This is stupid. We're letting them get away with, getting off the hook with playing certain guys and just they're keeping Ben on Kawhi. They're keeping Jimmy on Kawhi. Tobias, big bodies. Let's make him a smaller guy, guard him. And if they double team, cool, we can swing it around. So I bugged out, and then it just so happened, like, the next various of plays was me. It wasn't a post up. It wasn't a post up. I just cut to the ball, and Mark threw it to me, just happened to catch in the post. I was like, shit, well, I got to make a move. I made a move. It wasn't a bad move, but I hadn't touched the ball in probably 2 quarters at that point. And the ball was heavy as shit, bro. I turned around, shot that fadeaway. Shit was a good foot short. And I was like, damn. You do one of those, like, shh. And it's funny now. Luckily, we won the series and we didn't win the game. But it's funny now. But if we would have lost, the shit would have been funny. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You can look back now and laugh at it. I'm not the type we had to take offense to it. I take criticism. Like, guys can joke. I'm not, defensive. So I said, it's funny now, but I said, to be your own people, you got to bring up that story. At all the things y'all talk about on live, y'all got to bring up that story. But it was funny. It was funny.
It was funny. Another thing that I did want to discuss with you, as we're still a ways away, it would seem, from starting the NBA season again or resuming it. But you were on a call with Michelle Roberts and leadership from the NBPA.
Yes, we did. We had most of the reps, and I think Kalo and Fred was on that call as well. Rudy was on that call. A bunch of guys were on it. Dame, we had the leaders, CP, CJ McCollum. All the we have, each team has at least one rep and then one backup, rep. So at least should have 2 guys from each team. Some guys didn't have some teams there, but a lot of guys, the whole Brooklyn Nets team, I think, was on the call damn near. They had it was deep. They had everybody on. And there's some good questions, some good statements, some good suggestions, some good concerns, issues. So we talked about it. But coming from the call, the things that I can reveal or say or talk about, it was nothing major, but more so fans are concerned or worried, just as players, are we going to lose the season? And I think by any means necessary, we're going to try to, salvage the season. And right now we're fighting, Michelle and most of the guys think, that we're for sure going to have a season. It's just going to start, later than we expected. And, just trying to get the next season to be able to be pushed back is not going to be as easy as people think it's going to be. We have to have our partners to be able to compromise and be like, okay, our broadcasters, and be like, okay with this. But outside of that, they're saying, we're for sure going to have a season. It's probably going to start, mid to late May, maybe. That's what we're hoping for, the earliest. Or maybe earlier than that, but that's the earliest we're looking at, mid to late May. And it'll probably go through, August, latest September, I guess. But it'll be a quick turnaround if we don't get no break. And broadcasters say, hey, you know what, we can't push back to December or Christmas. But they said it was a good call and positivity for the fans that we're for sure going to have a season. So all the things that you hear in the news and seeing and reading, don't believe it that the NBA season's canceled. That's not true. But it's a positive phone call, and it's a positive outlook and a positive feedback for not just us but for the fans as well. So anyone that's tuning in and listening, we're gonna have a season, and just be patient, and we'll be back on the court sooner than later.
Yeah, that would be obviously great for everybody. You heard about that horse competition?
I heard about it, man. I've looked at it. I don't know how I feel about it. But I mean, whatever they can get to entertain the people, I'm all for. Get people on the court, but I don't know about a horse session was it supposed to be on national television?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about that, man. I mean, I think we could find something better.
Yeah. There's something. But other things that people can watch on TV, and we'll be talking to him soon, is Christian Dawkins. He's featured in HBO's The Scheme. You'll be hearing about his involvement with a federal trial as the FBI tried to implicate him and a number of college coaches in a bribery scheme, among other things. Before we get to that, Danny, just your impression of the interview that we did and the show and the documentary itself.
Oh, man, it was dope. It's dope all around. Christian is great, very smart young kid, man. He, at a young age, had a lot of big goals, dreams, and ambition, which he followed through on, and had accomplished a lot before the age of 25, which is crazy. But The Scheme, make sure you go tune in and check it out. It's a must watch if you're any type of sports fan or college fan or NBA fan of basketball. But any sports fan in general, is definitely something you should check out. I loved it. I thought it was great. It was a great documentary, and he got a chance to tell his side of the story, not just for him, but for the players, for the coaches, for that side of it, in college sports and how things should be. And hopefully one day we'll get there. But as of right now, we're still fighting the fight of, using our voice and helping these young kids to get paid, because a lot of them don't get a chance to play professionally overseas in the NBA, but they're NBA or professional levels at the collegiate level in Division I, II sports. So hopefully things will change in the future in that sense. But he told a great story, man. And The Scheme was an amazing documentary that I think everybody should watch.
Before anybody listens to that portion or watches that portion of the show, let me say it now. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. So you cannot be mad at us if it's
your own people, bro.
You've been warned. But it is good. You should watch it. And without further ado, we'll go to this interview with Christian Dawkins of HBO's documentary, The Scheme. Welcome back to Inside the Green Room with Danny Green. He's at his place. I'm at my place. And we're here with Christian Dawkins. If you have not seen the HBO documentary, The Scheme, you need to. Christian Dawkins is somebody who was sentenced to 18 months in prison because of a conspiracy theory or a pay-to-play scheme that the federal government was trying to involve him with NCAA college basketball coaches. We're not going to have too many spoiler alerts, but we will allude to what happened in the documentary and what he's doing now. Without further ado, Christian, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you jumping on with us, man. About time we got to the shit, Harry. Go ahead, man. Ask your question. You over here.
So, Christian,
15-minute introduction. Go ahead.
So far, you've only spent 1 day, night in jail, in prison. But there's an appeal process going on. Before we get into the film and things of that nature, how has coronavirus, COVID-19, impacted the appeal process and things that you would normally do if society was operating normally?
I mean, it from my perspective, it hasn't changed much at all, because we don't get like daily updates anyway. Like it's not like, basically you have to file briefs with the courts. The lawyers have to argue the points of contention that would cause the case to be overturned. And then that's reviewed by, a committee of judges. There could be oral arguments to, go back and forth on points, but it's not, I don't know if they've shut everything down on their end. I don't talk to them, but at least from my vantage point, nothing has changed. I haven't been back or have done anything at all with the case since the last trial.
Okay. I laughed when he said 1 day in jail because I was thinking about you describe it, and I guess they didn't really get into much detail or take the parts out that you would like to have shown. I've never been inside, jail or prison. What was your 1 day? You said El Chapo was there. What was your 1 day like? What was that experience like for you as a young kid being?
I mean, it was interesting. I mean, first off, I got there and the guards are like, "What are you here for?" And I tell them, and they're like, "It's no way you're here for this." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"No, I'm dead ass." And then just getting in there and just seeing how. So in MCC, that's basically like the lockdown wing for all of the most violent criminals. That's why El Chapo and those kind of people were there.
Why did they decide to put you there? Why did they?
Because the jail in Brooklyn was full. So the night I was arrested, all the jails are full. So they have no place to put me besides this wing. Just I had terrible luck, man. Everything that could have happened wrong happened, basically.
So, and your roommate or inmate, the guy that was sharing a cell with you, sharing a cell with somebody, correct?
Correct.
He was crazy. How was that experience? How was that interaction throughout that time?
So crazy. He wasn't even that terrible. He went off on the guard. He didn't like the guard. They didn't have a good relationship. But when I was in there with him, we was quiet for maybe like 45 awkward minutes. And then I might have said something. It was interesting because, he'd been in there for a minute. He's been locked up for a minute. And like his favorite artist was, because, obviously the last thing he's heard is what he, left to, was playing when he was out. So his favorite artist was Ja Rule. And I just was like, bro, Ja Rule ain't been the guy in a long, long time.
Yeah,
bro.
he's been up for that. He's been locked up for that. Jeez.
Yeah, so I had to just basically explain to him, what's happening out there right now. So we talked about that. He did educate me on what would happen in our case. He knew he was basically a prison lawyer, but he wasn't terrible. It just was the El Chapo thing is what fucked me all the way up.
I bet it would fuck anybody up. But let's get to the business side of things and the questioning. Obviously, some of the people you met, you regret meeting them and think some of them were not great people. And the guy that I guess kind of helped you to start off was Jeff D'Angelo, which said you don't really know him well, don't really care for him. But before you met him and when you met him and things were going in the right direction, what did you envision that your management company, like what did you envision that becoming?
So basically, I wanted to bring the Hollywood model of a manager to sports. And for an actor or actress, they have a manager and an agent, and they work in conjunction. The manager is basically the quarterback of whatever the big picture vision is. So I wanted to essentially bring that model to, the sports business. I already had maybe a dozen guys with Andy Miller, the agent that I had worked with. But Andy wasn't the agent for every particular player that I was going to be involved with. So I wanted to kind of restructure things and give my clients a choice and put 3 or 4 agents in front of them, a couple financial advisors, accountants, so they can pick reputable people amongst, people I've vetted and everything like that. That would be the best fit for them. And then once the team is fully assembled, I would essentially, run the day-to-day and be the point of contact because, as you know, playing in the league, every player isn't as close with their agent or it's not what everyone thinks on the outside looking in. So I wanted to basically streamline all those communications and make it easier for the player and even the representatives, and hopefully the results would have been better. So that was my idea. Offer services like what traditional agency would do, but essentially I'm on the side of the talent as opposed to, working for them. I'm working for them, but also protecting them from everybody else.
Yeah, so obviously things were looking on the up and up, Christian, and then obviously you found out, and spoiler alert, Jeff D'Angelo turned out to be an FBI agent. And as the case unraveled and things of that nature, and we get to the actual trial, I don't know if it was actually pointed out in the documentary, but it seems as if you were acquitted of 7 of the 10 charges, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now with 7 of them being you being acquitted of them, how much do you think that helps your appeal process? With the jury thinking that you were acquitted of so many other charges, even though I'm sure the Southern District of New York doesn't want to take the embarrassment of losing every single charge.
Well, yeah, I mean, the first case we lost on the wire fraud charges. They basically agreed with the government that the University of Louisville was defrauded. In the second trial, we beat every charge on defrauding a university. The jury didn't agree that you could defraud a university. So it's just issues like that I think could help. Because, I mean, in my personal opinion, you can't defraud a university, but in that first trial, there's a lot of information that they didn't let in. They didn't let in what universities make from basketball. They didn't let in, a lot of factors and facts that we've seen in the documentary. So I do think that it could help with the appeal, but you really just don't know, man. You really just have no idea.
For sure. A lot of us have dealt with family members or people that we know in situations like that, and it could take takes a long time, a lot of years. It's a long process. Was there anything from the documentary that didn't show or was not aired or cut out that you wanted the public to see or know about?
That's a good question. There was a lot of things that we had.
It came out really dope. I liked it. I thought it was really dope. How they put it together, it was great. Yeah. But I'm sure you guys did it was a 2-hour movie. Yeah. I'm sure you guys did a lot because I've done clips before and they would cut out a lot of stuff. So yeah. Is there any experiences, any subject?
I think, listen, there's a lot of stuff that maybe didn't make it. I think for me going in though, I didn't go in making a deal with HBO for me really. I wanted to show the bigger story. So I do think the narratives that I did want out there, that the players should be paid, that the criminal justice system, there's some good to it, but there's also a lot of bad. Like, I didn't look at this as a sports film, really. You know what I mean? Obviously, it's a sports themed film, but there's so many other real life situations that's happening in the film that I think that did connect with the audience. Mm-hmm. That I can't really focus on what didn't happen for me because the point wasn't. Like, Christian Dawkins isn't like a celebrity. I just was in this position, you know what I mean? And I just told a story that people could relate to. So that was the whole point, and I think we did accomplish that.
Okay. How long have you been into music? Like, were you into music during the whole basketball?
No, I mean, I listened to music, obviously. Basically what happened is I was like, I could be a felon. Like, this could be a real thing. Yeah. I have to start preparing for that reality. So I know I was good. I'm good at management. I know I'm good at that. So I'm like, let me see if I can transfer this to a different business. Literally, I'm not even making this up. I got on SoundCloud. The first song that I seen, I was like, yo, this shit is fire. Who is this artist? I reached out to him. I told him about myself. We talked for maybe 3 hours. I sent him a management contract signed the same day. That artist, his name is Katil, literally blew up. I mean, every label wanted him. So it wasn't.
Who was the artist?
His name is Katil. We're just in the process. We're about to actually release his first EP in the next couple of weeks. But he had some. Yeah, thank you. He had some demos and some songs that were fire, and I just, I knew some people in music and put them in front of some people, and it went from that to, it was a bidding war, and we ended up being in a situation that we were fortunate enough that the chairmen of the labels wanted me to run the label. So it ended up working out perfectly.
That's dope. That's really dope, man. That's crazy. How quick and that you prepared for that way ahead of time. It's very commendable. Is there any other business ventures that you are trying to get into or trying to pursue? Music,
yeah, I mean, on the music side, we have the label, which we have as a venture with Atlantic. We have a publishing company, so that's essentially like a record deal for songwriters or producers. We have a management side as well to that, where we manage a couple artists signed to major labels. And then obviously, The Scheme was the first TV project, but we signed a scripted series deal. I can't really announce the network yet, but there's some stuff on the TV and film side that our company will be executive producing and everything like that as well. So this situation obviously was awful, but between everything that I'm able to do now in entertainment and obviously the sports thing is kind of second nature for me. It could be a dynamic where we could combine, music, TV, film, sports, and really have a real strong company. So that's the plan, and it's looking like it's going to come together.
That's what's up, man. Congrats, man. I hope it does go well for you. That's dope. Let us know anything we can do to help. Pushing anything you need. But I'm sure this time right now everything's slowed down for everyone else, but you can still get a lot done when it comes to music and phone calls and emails.
Yeah.
Where are you stuck right now? Are you in Michigan?
No, I'm in Los Angeles. I live in LA.
Oh, okay. Okay, what part of town?
Hollywood.
Okay. So you close to HU over that way, right?
I'm over here. You're not too far. I'm in Central LA.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
really?
I'm over by the beach. I'm in Manhattan Beach, man. We over there.
Yeah.
Oh, so everybody's in LA.
Yeah.
That's fire.
Yeah.
That's fire.
Christian, one of the things that was in the film that wasn't in the trial, I believe, were the tapes from Sean Miller, from Lil Wade. Do you anticipate any type of fallback or any type of new actions that might come out from that new audio, since now it's public, now it's for public consumption?
No, I don't think that there will be any fallback. I think that those tapes, the content of those tapes, that isn't the first time that people have known. Listen, Sean had one of his head assistants that got charged, and then LSU, the tapes, the transcripts were already public, via Yahoo's reporting a couple months prior to the documentary. So I don't think it will be any new actions. That wasn't, from the filmmaker's perspective, at least, from the conversations we had, that wasn't the point to try to get any fallback or anything like that. It was basically just to show that if these conversations were recorded by the FBI, and if you charged us with the same thing that's being discussed on this tape by these coaches, how did they not get charged too? That was the filmmaker's point. It wasn't to. I think our point, the whole documentary, was the players should be paid. So we obviously are endorsing, for lack of a better word, what those coaches or any coach who will compensate a player is doing. So that wasn't our intention. I hope and pray that there is no fallback. It shouldn't be, because those guys are doing their jobs. So I don't think it will be any, and I hope there is none.
Where does your relationship stand now with guys like Tony Bland, Book Richardson, and coaches across the NCAA?
I talked to some of them. I don't talk to all of them, because when I did get arrested, my phones got taken, and I haven't gotten them back, so I don't have people's information.
Still haven't gotten them back?
Yeah, no, I still haven't gotten them back. So I don't really have everybody's contact to hit them, but the people who've reached out via social media and everything like that, we've communicated. Book's good. Merle Code's good. Most of the people in the case are fine. I haven't talked to Lamont at all, so I don't really know where he is. But everybody else is doing good.
Okay.
So, Dan, did you want to ask? Did you have one?
Go ahead, bro. You go ahead.
You sure? You got?
Go ahead, bro. I'll ask the next one. I'll ask the next question.
Well, going along those lines of with coaches and your relationships with them, one thing that has happened in California is the Bill 206 that allowed monetization of your likeness for players, and then we've seen the NCAA now adopt that. Now, it won't happen until January of 2023, and there's still a lot of language that really might not address what everybody's kind of looking for with the purpose of that bill, but it's a move forward. It's a positive direction. How much do you think that plays an impact on players, coaches, universities in their, decisions to potentially lure recruits or recruits' families' decision to potentially accept money if it's offered to them?
Well, if the rules are changed, then everybody's going to accept money. Why wouldn't you? It's like, it makes no sense not to. I'm not so certain though that listen, man, if if someone doesn't take charge and change it at the Congress level, it's gonna get crazy, because the NCAA is not going to just do it. They're not going to. They've shown this over and over. They'll make those announcements, but those announcements don't. If you read the fine print, they don't mean that they're changing the rules. They're saying they're going to consider and put together a committee, and they're going to still keep it the same. And if all these states have different rules, it's not good either, because all the NCAA is going to do is just lobby people and just figure out a way to legally pay people to keep the rules the way that they want them to do it. From the standpoint of, maybe it looks a little bit like they've made some changes, but in reality, they're not. No one's going to give up billions of dollars, bro, that they don't have to pay taxes on without someone forcing them.
That's the crazy thing. I didn't know that till I watched the document. Until I watched the doc that they don't pay taxes. I'm like, what the? They're getting so much money and not paying any taxes.
Not even just, and people don't understand. The NCAA is one part of it. Then you have the ACC or the conferences is another part. Then you have the universities make money and they don't pay. All of them are paying no taxes, and all these people are making millions and billions of dollars. So, I mean, they're not going to just give that up because somebody put out a documentary. Somebody's going to have to force them to do it, and it's going to have to be Congress.
How different do you think the story would be if it was told from the other side, from the Southern District of New York, instead of your side?
To be honest with you, it wouldn't have been much different. They're not that dude, 99% of what was on the documentary was played in court. Like, they're not hiding from. All they did differently was they didn't allow their FBI agents to be questioned. They blocked them from coming in. They didn't want any coaches to be questioned. They blocked that from coming in. They would add what they did is they went and got everybody who was like Manish Sue, Brian Bowen Sr., those kind of people, and they got them to testify against me. So it's one thing for me to, even the coaches pleading guilty didn't help me, because it's kind of hard for me to say, they didn't get paid, and then they pled guilty to getting paid, even though there's video of them not taking the money. Mm-hmm. It's difficult. Like, it's hard in court when that's happening. So it wouldn't have been that much of a difference, I don't believe, because those calls are those calls. There's no way to get around me telling them I don't want to do it. Like, even if they had me doing it, if I'm saying on one thing and I don't want to do it, then you still have, beyond reasonable doubt means you have to know for sure that this person, that was his intention to commit this crime. So it's hard to argue that was my full intention when I'm literally telling them I don't want to do it. It's very difficult. So I don't really know what their story would be differently. Their idea, you got to remember, is none of what I'm saying matters. The players shouldn't be paid, and the scholarships is what the players should have. That's it. That's how they won the case. They made it all about the universities are being defrauded because they're giving out scholarship funds to players that are not amateurs. That's their story.
Christian, another thing the FBI wanted, and it's alluded to in the documentary, is your cooperation. They wanted to help bring in bigger names. Essentially, it's pictured as you're a pawn in this scheme to bring down bigger names in college basketball. Why didn't you?
Because it's hard to snitch on somebody when you don't think they did nothing wrong. Like, what am I bringing in these? Okay, so if I was just telling the coaches or telling the agents or telling anybody, what would I be telling? Yeah. That they gave some people some money who deserved the money? What are you telling on? Like, I couldn't even, my demeanor isn't even good enough to hold that in. I wouldn't even been a good witness for the government, because I would have just been on the stand like, this is stupid. What did anybody do wrong? I can't tell on somebody when I don't think that what they did is wrong. So that was the thing. At the end of the day, when you think about it, I would be risking possibly someone going to prison and losing their family, losing their finances, completely fucking their life, basically. I can't realistically do that knowing in my head that they weren't trying to commit a crime. That's psychotic.
Yeah, basically they were trying to turn you into Marty Blazer and try to have you undercover and try to make them commit crimes further.
Correct.
Get them in bigger trouble, basically. and that's something you weren't willing to do.
No.
I will say this though, Christian, the fact that you were willing to tell this story and to allude to what's happening in college basketball and the FBI's trials to try and take you down and the whole system does make, I think, more people aware of the imbalance that is happening with the NCAA. And I think, obviously, I'm sure Danny appreciated it. Me, as somebody who's covered high school athletics, definitely appreciate it as well. And I'm sure there's families all across the globe, or a nation at least, that are thankful that you gave your voice to the situation. Before you go, how much money you got inside the mattress?
Because I had a little cash on hand, like 90,000. I was like, what the fuck? I don't got 90,000 in the crib nowhere.
I've got a bank account now, man. I got a couple bank accounts.
Did they unfreeze your other accounts? You said the credit card machine ate your credit.
No, I didn't. They took all that money. I had to restart, man. I had to literally went from zero. I had to go brick by brick back to where I am now. So no, they ain't listen, dude. It's nothing that you can think of that's gonna be fair if you're dealing with it. There's no fucking like, let me give him a little bit of it. Nah. They ruin you, bury you. They don't give a fuck. That's crazy.
The credit card ate his machine. ate it.
Wait, so when your card got eaten by the machine, did you like give me the play-by-play?
I just put my head down, man, and just shook my head like this.
So you knew what it was from jump.
I knew what it was.
You're like, what the fuck? Break the machine, knock on the door. Let me go inside. Hold on. Let me call the bank. What the fuck is going on?
Woman on my dad was like, you should probably go to the bank and try to get your money out.
Yeah.
Before they noticed. And as soon as I got there, I was like, yeah, this is over with. So it is what it is. I just had to move back in with my parents.
There's been worse situations.
Say that again?
There's been worse situations than that. So
yeah, exactly. 100%. 100%.
We appreciate the time.
Yeah, for sure, man. I appreciate you jumping on, man, taking time out your day.
No problem.
Best of luck with everything else, the other ventures and the music and the record label and the new artists. Big shout out to them. The Scheme, if you guys haven't seen it, it's a must see. Go check it out, please. It's dope. It's really dope. Harrison, go ahead. You can close us out how you want to close out the show.
I think you did it perfectly, my friend.
Yeah. Well.
Appreciate you guys.
All right.
Again,
all right, perfect.
The Scheme, you guys got to go watch it. And best of luck with the appeal process, business, all that. Thanks again.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah,
guys.
Appreciate it, man. Good luck.
My man. Thank you.